The Galactic Empire mocked Earth as a prototype. Humans' reaction shocked the galaxy. HFY Sci-Fi story. For thousands of years, the Galactic Empire believed it had seen everything. They had conquered powerful warrior races, ruled over intelligent species, and controlled more planets than anyone could count. Their ships were the size of cities, their weapons could destroy stars, and their knowledge was older than most civilizations in the galaxy. There was nothing left to surprise them. Or at least, that was what they believed. Far beyond their central worlds, near the edge of a quiet spiral arm, one of their deep space scanners detected something unusual. It was a small yellow star, ordinary and unimportant. But orbiting that star was a blue planet filled with life. This was not surprising, because life existed on many planets. What surprised them was the signal coming from it. Artificial signals. Technology. Civilization. The scanner officer froze as he looked at the data. This planet was not listed as a developed world. It was listed as something else. He quickly sent the data to the Imperial Science Council. Within minutes, the greatest alien scientists gathered to examine the strange discovery. They opened the ancient archives, records older than most species alive today. These records were created by the galaxy's original architects, being so advanced that even the Empire respected them. The scientists searched the database, looking for the blue planet. Then they found it. Planet designation, Earth. Species designation, human. Status, prototype species. Development, incomplete. Final evaluation, failed. The entire chamber became silent. Then suddenly, one of the senior scientists laughed. Others joined him. Soon, the entire council was laughing. A failed prototype survived. One of them said. Impossible, another replied. According to the ancient creators, humans were never meant to reach space. They were too fragile, too emotional, too unpredictable. Their bodies were weak compared to other species. Their lifespan was short. Their world was dangerous and unstable. Everything about them was inefficient. They were an experiment that was abandoned long ago. And yet, somehow, they survived. Not only survived, but developed technology. This made no sense. The Empire had discovered many species, but never a failed prototype that lived this long. The Emperor himself was informed of the discovery. He sat silently on his throne, looking at the image of Earth floating in space. A small, fragile world. Insignificant. Or so it seemed. Send an observation fleet, the Emperor ordered calmly. Let us see how this failed prototype still exists. His commanders obeyed immediately. Within hours, massive alien ships moved toward Earth. Their engines bent space itself as they traveled faster than light. On Earth, human scientists detected something impossible. Objects appeared near the edge of their solar system. Objects too large to be natural. Objects moving with perfect control. Human governments were informed. Military forces prepared for the unknown. But something strange happened. Humans did not panic. They did not attack. They did not run. They watched. Silently. Carefully. Waiting. In orbit around Earth, the alien fleet stopped. Their scanners examined human cities, satellites, and ships. The alien commander looked at the data and frowned. Humans were more advanced than expected. This was unusual. Begin intelligence test, the commander ordered. A signal was prepared, a complex mathematical pattern designed to test primitive minds. No failed prototype had ever solved it before. The signal was sent toward Earth. Seconds passed. Then something happened that no one expected. Earth responded immediately. Not only did they solve the signal, they improved it. The alien commander stared at the screen in silence. His hands froze. His crew waited for him to speak. But he could not. Because for the first time in his long career, he was not laughing anymore. He was confused. The alien commander continued staring at the screen, unable to move. The signal humans had sent back was correct, perfectly correct. But that was not the shocking part. The shocking part was that humans had improved it. They had taken Imperial code, studied it in seconds, and made it more efficient. No primitive species had ever done that before. The command bridge was silent. Alien officers looked at each other with growing discomfort. "Run the analysis again," the commander said quietly. A science officer obeyed immediately. His long fingers moved quickly across the control surface. "Analysis confirmed," the officer said after a moment. "There is no mistake." The commander felt something unfamiliar. Doubt. He looked again at the ancient record floating beside the human signal. Prototype species. Incomplete. Failed. Those words no longer felt correct. "Send a second test," the commander ordered, his voice more serious now. This time, they prepared a harder signal. This signal was used to test developing civilizations across the galaxy. It contained layered mathematics, physics constants, and encoded logic patterns. Most young species needed years to understand it. Some never understood it at all. The Empire transmitted the signal toward Earth. On the command bridge, alien officers watched carefully. Minutes passed. Then seconds later, Earth responded again. Not minutes. Not hours. Seconds. Again, humans solved it. Again, humans improved it. But this time, they added something else. A message. The alien science officer translated it slowly. His eyes widened. "What does it say?" the commander asked. The officer hesitated. Then he spoke. "It says, 'Interesting test, but your logic structure is inefficient. Here is a better version.'" The bridge fell into complete silence. The words were calm, polite, and confident. Not afraid. Not confused. Confident. The commander felt something colder now. Concern. This was not how failed prototypes behaved. This was how advanced species behaved. He looked down at Earth. The small blue planet looked peaceful, harmless. But now he was no longer sure. "Scan their technology," he ordered. Alien scanners moved across human satellites, stations, and ships. Energy readings appeared on the screen. Primitive compared to the Empire. But strangely efficient. Very efficient. "Commander," another officer said slowly. "There is something else." "What is it?" "Their systems show signs of rapid improvement." The commander turned. "Explain." "It appears their technology evolves quickly," the officer said. "They improve faster than normal species." That was impossible. Most species needed centuries to advance. Humans were advancing in decades. This made no sense. The commander began to feel uneasy. He remembered the ancient word again. Prototype. Prototype did not always mean failure. Sometimes, prototype meant potential. But he quickly pushed the thought away. "No," he said firmly. "They are still primitive. We will test their military response. If humans were truly weak, they would show fear. Fear was easy to detect. Fear was predictable. Fear was proof of inferiority. "Move one warship closer," the commander ordered. A massive Imperial warship separated from the fleet. It moved slowly toward Earth. Its weapons were not active. But its power was obvious. On Earth, human sensors immediately detected the movement. Military alerts activated across the planet. Defense systems prepared. Human ships launched into orbit. The alien commander watched carefully, waiting to see panic, waiting to see fear. But he saw neither. Human ships did not attack. They did not retreat. They simply moved into position. Calm. Organized. Ready. Then, a new message arrived from Earth. Short. Clear. And impossible to misunderstand. "We see you." The message remained on the alien command screen. "We see you." Just 3 simple words. But they carried no fear. No panic. No weakness. The alien commander stared at the words, trying to understand the meaning behind them. Most primitive species sent emotional messages. Messages filled with fear, questions, or surrender. But this message was different. It was calm, controlled, aware. It was the message of a species that understood the situation. "Commander," a scan officer said carefully, "human ships are increasing in number." The commander turned his attention to the display. Small human ships were leaving Earth's surface. They moved with precision, forming defensive positions around their planet. They were not rushing. They were not disorganized. They were prepared. "Magnify their propulsion systems," the commander ordered. The scanners focused on one human ship. The alien officers examined its engine structure. At first, it looked primitive. Chemical propulsion, fusion assistance, nothing impressive. But then the science officer noticed something strange. "Commander, their energy output is too stable." "What does that mean?" the commander asked. "It means their systems are optimized beyond expected limits." The commander frowned. That should not be possible for a prototype species. "Scan their weapon systems," he ordered. The scanners analyzed human weapon platforms. Again, the results were confusing. Their weapons were not as powerful as Imperial weapons. But they were efficient. Extremely efficient. Minimal energy loss. Maximum output. No wasted power. It was as if humans had learned to survive by using everything perfectly. The commander began to feel a strange pressure in his chest. This situation was no longer amusing. This situation was unknown. Suddenly, another alert appeared. "Commander, humans are scanning us." The entire bridge froze. "That is impossible," one officer said. "Our stealth systems are active." But the scan officer confirmed it again. "They are studying our ship structure. They are learning." Learning. The word echoed in the commander's mind. Humans were not just reacting. They were observing, analyzing, understanding, improving. Just like a prototype designed to evolve. The commander felt the first real warning signal in his instincts. He had seen dangerous species before. Species with powerful weapons. Species with strong bodies. But this was different. Humans were adaptive. And adaptive species were unpredictable. "Commander," the communication officer said suddenly, "there is another human message." The commander hesitated before responding. "Show it," he said slowly. The message appeared on the screen. "We do not know who you are." The commander remained silent. The message continued. "But we know you are watching." Alien officers shifted nervously. The humans were correct. They understood the situation perfectly. Then the final part of the message appeared. "And we want you to understand something clearly." The commander leaned forward slightly. The final words appeared. "We are not afraid." No anger. No threat. Just truth. The commander felt something he had not felt in many cycles. Uncertainty. He looked down at Earth again. The small blue planet that was supposed to be a failed prototype. But now, he was no longer sure what he was looking at. For the first time since arriving, the alien commander began to wonder if the Empire had made a terrible mistake. The alien commander could not ignore the feeling anymore. Something was wrong. Very wrong. He turned toward the science division. "Access the ancient creator archives again," he ordered. His voice was calm, but inside, his thoughts were not calm at all. The science officers immediately obeyed. The archives opened slowly, revealing information that had not been studied for thousands of cycles. These were the original records of the galaxy's creators. The beings who designed life itself. The beings even the Empire respected. The commander watched carefully as the data appeared. Planet, Earth. Species, human. Status, prototype. Development, incomplete. Evaluation, pending. The commander frowned. That was different. Before, the record had said failed. Now it said pending. "Explain this," the commander demanded. A science officer looked confused. "Commander, there are multiple versions of the record." "Multiple?" "Yes," the officer said. It appears the evaluation was never finalized. The commander felt a cold sensation spread through his body. Never finalized. That meant humans were not officially declared a failure. They were unfinished. The officer continued scanning deeper into the archive. Then suddenly, he froze. "Commander, there is a restricted file." "Open it." "Authorization required," the officer replied. The commander used his highest command authority. The system paused for a moment. Then the file opened. Ancient symbols filled the screen, translated slowly into modern imperial language. The bridge was completely silent. The translation completed. And the truth appeared. Prototype designation, adaptive species. The commander's eyes widened slightly. The file continued. Purpose, observe long-term survival under extreme conditions. Another line appeared. Primary function, unlimited adaptive growth. The science officer spoke quietly. This means they were designed to improve continuously. Another line appeared. Do not interfere with prototype Earth. The command bridge became colder, heavier, more serious. The commander read the final line. Warning, adaptive prototypes may exceed original expectations. No one spoke. No one moved. The meaning was clear. Humans were not a failure. Humans were an experiment still in progress. An experiment designed to evolve without limits. The commander slowly looked back at the image of Earth. A small, peaceful planet. But now he understood. It was not weak. It was growing. Every war humans survived, they became stronger. Every disaster they faced, they became smarter. Every challenge made them better. Not because they were perfect, but because they adapted. "Commander," the scan officer said quietly, "human ships are still holding position." The commander nodded slowly. They were calm, confident, watching, just like the Empire was watching them. For the first time in Imperial history, the commander realized something dangerous. The Empire was not observing a failed prototype. They were observing something new, something unfinished, something still becoming stronger. And the most dangerous part was, no one knew how strong humans would become. The alien commander stood silently on the bridge, staring at Earth. The ancient archive was still open beside him. Its final warning echoed in his mind. Adaptive prototypes may exceed original expectations. For the first time in his long service, he did not feel superior. He felt uncertain. "Commander," the communications officer said carefully, "humans are sending another message." The commander hesitated for a moment. Then he nodded. "Show it." The message appeared on the screen. Simple, clear, and calm. "You came to observe us." The commander felt his chest tighten slightly. The message continued. "We observed you too." Alien officers exchanged nervous glances. Humans were not blind. They understood everything. Another line appeared. "You tested us." The commander remembered the signals they sent. The intelligence tests. The silent scans. The quiet judgment. Humans knew all of it. Then the final line appeared. "We hope you learned something." The bridge fell silent. There was no anger in the message. No threat. No fear. Only confidence. The commander realized something important in that moment. Humans did not see themselves as weak. They never had. They did not need approval from the Empire. They did not need permission to exist. They had survived alone. On a dangerous world. Through war, disaster, and extinction events. They had faced ice ages, global wars, and near destruction. And every time, they survived. Not because they were the strongest, but because they adapted. Because they endured. Because they refused to disappear. "Commander," the navigation officer said quietly, "what are your orders?" The commander looked again at Earth. He remembered how they laughed when they first saw the word prototype. He remembered how confident they felt. how superior they believed they were. But now, he understood the truth. Prototype did not mean failure. Prototype meant potential. Prototype meant the future. The commander made his decision. "All ships," he said calmly, "stand down." The officers looked at him in surprise. "We will not interfere," he continued. "This species is not a failure. This species is still evolving." Slowly, the massive Imperial fleet began to move away from Earth. Not in defeat, but in respect. On Earth, human ships remained in position, watching, silent, calm. They did not celebrate. They did not chase. They simply observed, just as they had always done. Far away, in the depths of space, the alien commander looked back one last time. He understood now why the creators never finished the evaluation. Because humans were not meant to be finished. They were meant to grow forever, to improve forever, to adapt forever. And one day, the entire galaxy would no longer laugh at Earth. One day, the galaxy would follow humanity's example. Because the species once called Prototype was never a mistake. It was the beginning.